Vodanazi Namafkadams.
Namashonja.
Okay, Rodi.
Namashonja. Greetings, colleagues. I'm Vhutshilo Gelebe, like he has indicated. I unfortunately had to say that I am doing something in Kokta because I'm not sure what I am in the department. I do everything. I was talking to colleagues in the morning saying that everybody want Kokta to respond to everything that has got to do with municipalities and IDPs. So what I am presenting here is part of the work that I am doing. I was told that I have only 20 minutes to do this presentation, so there are a lot of information that is not here, but that I am going to refer to. There you go. Thanks. Colleagues, I think this is your opportunity for you guys to learn Tshivenda. There is Davana here and there's me in the province. So if when we live here you don't know anything in Tshivenda, then I give up. But this presentation is going to be very quick because I'm not going to talk to all the slides. And what makes me very happy is the fact that I'm looking at people who are doing audit in municipalities. So when things are not happening in municipalities, we know people to point at. I was having a discussion with councillors and mayors in the South Coast, and the message that I was taking through was, I want them to protect two people in the municipality. I said to the mayors, I said to councillors, they must protect the performance management officers if really they want service delivery. They must protect internal audit officials if really they want to come back for re-elections, to be re-elected back into council. The reason why I was saying that is, if we do have this IDP, as I am going to present on it, but nobody keeps the checks and balance and make sure that implementation is happening, we are following through with this plan. I think this plan makes no sense. What is critical is implementation. In KZN, we have decided that we have done a lot of planning. We are good in planning. Somebody was telling me that the Statistician General has indicated that KZN IDPs are the best in the country. I don't know how and why, because I've not seen the other provinces. I don't even know how IDPs in Limpopo looks like. So, but I'll take that. But those IDPs, if they're not implemented, for me, they don't assist us. This presentation will just tell you where we are as a province and the kind of expectation on the IDP that is being presented looks at. The challenge that we have is IDP is heavily regulated. You know, there are a lot of legislations, regulations that talks to the IDP. So if you think IDP is Chapter 5 of the Municipal Systems Act, you are wrong. It is Municipal Systems Act, Municipal Finance Management Act, Provincial Finance Management Act, Municipal Structures Act, Local Government Planning, Performance Management Regulation. It's everything. So when you want to see a credible IDP, it must be an IDP that will respond to everything else, all those things. There are other policies and legislations, that are also expected to be implemented through. We talked about the disaster issues, audit issues. So all those things inform the kind of an IDP that we need to see and implement. So in the province, we have realized that we are interpreting legislation the way that we want to because it suits us and the way that it keeps me employed, the following year. So if we don't have auditors and performance managers, he is shaking. I was protecting him before his council, saying, protect this gentleman as councillors, because if you don't, you are doomed as councillors. So everybody interpret, this legislation the way that it favors them. But fortunately today I will tell you what you don't want to hear, as it is. So what we did, we have developed an IDP management guide as a province. The reason why we did that was to support municipalities. Let us simplify it for municipalities to be able to say, does my IDP respond to this? Is my IDP implementable? Our goal, the MEC had said he does not want to see unfunded budget. Unfortunately, we've got 13, if not 15, that were found to be unfunded. MEC Treasury said, go back. I don't even want to entertain that. So an IDP is not just an IDP. It is an IDP that have got everything, that an IDP, including implementation. So this guide also talks to those issues, but it goes down into looking at some of the areas within the SDBIP, which is the implementation plan, as to what is it that needs to be done. So for those who love colors, I come from Limpopo. I just said, no, let me not leave some of the people outside, so look at these colors. At least I've got the rainbow, but this is what an IDP is supposed to be. And we need to have a problem. There should be a problem somewhere. So we can't have an IDP that does not tell you what the problem is. You need to identify that problem and then therefore say, how do I solve this problem? Your vision or your objectives are the solution, the outcomes, not the input or the output, the output. I was saying to colleagues, if you look at most of your IDPs, because you don't want to account, there are a lot of outputs. You are telling us what you're going to be doing, but it does not tell us what is the change that you are going to see in the landscape. How does community benefit from us spending 70 billion? I'm talking to eThekwini because they count their monies in billions. So when I talk to guys in Umzwabantu, no, we can talk about millions, 100 couple. So that is a budget yaseThekwini yokukholela abasebenzi kuphela le. So it must be an IDP that has changed, the life of the communities. And then we bring everything together. The reason why Kokta is always in trouble is because of that integration. We seem to be some people who are supposed to be doing everything. And an IDP manager in the municipality seems to be, the head of the municipality, because even heads of departments, they don't want to take responsibilities. They leave everything to the IDP manager. IDP manager is an integrator, is integrating these plans. But there should be everybody playing their role. To make life easy for colleagues, I just brought this slide to indicate, the lifespan of this IDP that we're talking about. This is going to assist us when I start talking to the details thereof. We have got only one IDP that needs to be adopted by a municipality. It's one. That IDP adopted a year that new council comes in. We are going to have local government elections. I don't know whether it's going to be November, December, or it's going to be January. But when we have those councillors sworn in, immediately they must develop an IDP, their own plan. That is the only strategic plan that you cannot do anything. You can't review. This is where I am going, because that's where I realized that auditors in the municipality and performance managers, we are relaxed. We are allowing each and every year the municipality to review the indicators and the targets. It is illegal, colleagues. I'll show you why I'm saying it's illegal. And it is the responsibilities of all of us to understand that when we set the vision for 5 years, we don't just change it in between. You don't just change your targets because you are realizing, hey, no, it's like I don't have, even when you don't have money, you don't change your targets. Because the service delivery challenges on the ground as you have defined them, they have not changed. You should just accept that you are not going to achieve this target and leave it red. That's what we are saying. But the review annually, we're not reviewing that one plan that council has adopted. That's why I'm showing this slide. You've got 5 reviews. Business continuity. When she was presenting, I was saying to myself, when the new council comes, there is an IDP already that has been adopted that they need to endorse and continue adopting until they adopt their own single one plan. So that is continuity, and that is what you're going to see. The last year of e-council, they are going to adopt. If we're going to have election in November, this IDP will have been reviewed now. By the 31st of May, it should have been reviewed. So those who are coming in, they must implement it, they must endorse it. If they want to amend it, it's useless for them because the process of amendment is the same as the process, of developing a new IDP. Apologies, there are some of the words that can be there, they are in italics. So before everything else, the Municipal Systems Act says you cannot develop an IDP. An IDP cannot be credible if you do not tell everybody what your process is going to be. When are you going to do what? In December, let me start in August, because the process plan must be ready in August, to say this municipality is going to review this plan or this municipality is preparing a new IDP. This is what we are going to do in November, this is what we are going to do in December, January, March, talking to budget issues. Then you go to your SDBIP 28 days after. All those, and how are you going to engage your communities? So that process need to be developed. So there are those processes that you have to go through in terms of, if you're a district, you've got a framework plan that you need to develop that talks to what everybody else will be doing in the district family together. And then you also do the process plan of your own ID, because you are a water service provider in the district. So how are you going to be responding to those issues? So you'll have to, if you're a district, it's a framework and a process. But if you're a local municipality or a metro, you have got a process plan on how you are going to be reviewing. This slide tells us now that in terms of section 25, all council, it's a must. That's what I talked to say once you are elected or once you've got new council, they need to develop an IDP. And this IDP should inform all the budget allocation. So every money that is allocated should be allocated, including the sector departments. Sector department can't just dream or they fail to spend money and they dump it into the municipality because it's illegal. You can't spend that money if it's not part of the IDP and also it's not part of the SDBIP for that financial year. Otherwise, you need to go back and do an IDP amendment process. It will tell you how you do that IDP amendment process happen. So there is, what should I call it? There is a gap in the Municipal Systems Act in terms of the timelines. If you read, it will just tell you that within a prescribed period. It does not tell you what that prescribed period is. But if you read the Municipal Systems Act together with the Municipal Finance Management Act, it will tell you exactly when that needs to happen. So if you read Municipal Finance Management Act, it will tell you that a budget must be adopted in consideration of an IDP. That therefore tells you that an IDP should be there for you to be able to adopt your budget. So a credible IDP is an IDP that the budget has been adopted after an IDP has been prepared or a review has been done or an amendment. There must be an IDP before a budget. So if you do it, even in your council sitting, if you start with an adoption of a budget as an item before an item on the IDP, that's an audit issue right there. Because what informed that budget? So that's why we say you must adopt your IDP or you must do your review of an IDP. You'll see what do you look at when you are doing the review. As the panel of the MEC panels are looking at, they look at those issues, the compliance issues, to say, did we follow the legislation to the core? And does this budget make sense? Is it going to implement this IDP? So is the review. When you review an IDP, this is what I was talking about. We are realizing that, colleagues, we are redoing our IDPs each and every year. Each and every year you get a new IDP submitted. It is mainly because we have failed to understand what this means. Let me read to you, colleagues. Section 34, subsection A of the Municipal System Act. A municipal council must review its IDP annually in accordance with assessment of its performance. If you did not do an assessment of your performance, you will not know what is it that needs to be reviewed. You are not reviewing your indicators and your targets per se, but you are looking at the implementation and say, I have failed to achieve these targets. How am I going to address these issues? You are not going to change those targets because you failed to change them, but you are going to develop strategies and programs for you to achieve those targets. That's an IDP review. So it informs what you are going to do to address these issues. You are not moving the goalpost because the ball is too, I don't know, whatever. So this is what you are doing. We keep on moving, the goalpost because we feel my shot is not strong enough to get to the post. That's not what the legislation says. You are reviewing the IDP implementation plan. You are saying, I am failing, or I have overachieved. What is it that I can add on top of what needs to be done? But we're not changing that. Otherwise, we are rendering councillors useless because they've made agreements with communities that they know that they're not going to achieve. There is a clever mean, the municipality, who is going to change that. So everything that you do, you read, when you read the Municipal Systems Act, read it against Municipal Finance Management Act and the regulations. So when you read it, it will say this should be done in terms of Section 41. I was like, let me go and get Section 41 for colleagues to read when you are looking at that review and amendment. So Section 41, it tells you that there are those appropriate key performance indicators that you have set. What are those indicators that we have set, and what are those outcomes that are expected? Have we reached those outcomes? What are the priorities? So when you look at a credible IDP, it must be an IDP that responds. Let me not say an IDP, an implementation plan, because when you're reviewing, you're not touching the IDP itself. You're looking at the set objectives and priorities, not anything else. You are looking at the targets that has been set and whether I am achieving them or not. This is where I said we need performance management officers and auditors to look at this, because managers and directors, they always want to change their targets. There was a fight in Umsunduzi in the beginning of the year because every director wanted to change their targets. Reasons, some of them, you can hear, you can listen, but some of them, when somebody is starting to speak, you're already annoyed to say, when you deserve to get fired instead. So you can only review an IDP once, and this review should be done based on the performance. You can sit down and say, I've achieved all the targets, I'm still on road, or I'm still on track, and say, there's nothing to review here. I'm continuing with my implementation of my 5-year plan without changing anything. Maybe you look at your budget, maybe you can add, but you're not looking at anything else. There's this thing that happens usually when you go towards December. If you read Municipal Finance Management Act, I think it's Section 72, that talks to budget adjustment issues. Budget adjustment, it does not mean that you change your indicators, you change everything. It's not a new IDP, it's not a new SDBIP, it's still the same. Even if you don't have monies anymore, accept that I don't have money, I'm not going to implement this, the target should remain red. I think I'm repeating this for the third time now. So these are the things that we look at when we say, is your IDP credible? Or you just develop a new IDP altogether. I'm going to skip some of these slides. So when you read the regulation, it's a municipal planning and performance management regulation. It will also tell you, how we look at these IDP reviews annually. And things have changed now because we have realized that we are wasting our time looking at the whole IDP each and every year. With the 6th generation IDP, we're only going to be looking at the implementation plan because we have satisfied ourselves with the first submitted IDP. I'm not going to go through all these issues. Only when you are amending your IDP, now you can touch your key performance indicators. If you read sub-regulation 2, when you're amending your IDP, you can look at your indicators. You can review them, and that's when you are allowed to touch those. You can even, that you are amending. And that means an IDP amendment process, it means you're going back to the community and tell them that we cannot do what we have said we wanted to do because of 1, 2, 3, 4. This is what now we are going to agree with you, that this is our new IDP. Whatever that we have agreed upon or adopted as an IDP, let us consider it null and void. This is the new plan. So now you can look at all those other issues. But what is very critical, colleagues, these documents are sent to the auditors. Auditors have got hold of these documents. Performance managers, please, let us work together to look at these issues and make sure that auditing is happening properly. Some directors will just say, yeah, they've achieved their targets. Nobody confirms, nobody. There is an auditor in Umsunduzi. I like that gentleman. I've forgotten his name. That guy, you will never tell him that you have achieved, because he goes on site, he goes and checks, he follows up, and whenever you are presenting, you look at him first, you look at his face, because you know that just after you have finished presenting, he's going to stand up and say, "Ayumhlonishwa unamanga lapha." So, and he'll give you figures. You see, some managers will tell you that SCM processes have delayed us. A supply chain manager will stand up and say, it's poor planning. It's not any supply chain management process, it's poor planning. I can tell you when you brought this, I can tell. So there are all these issues. So is your IDP credible? All these IDP, the new IDP, the amendment, the review, all of them must be submitted within 10 days. So if you adopt I like this part. The Municipal Systems Act just says within 10 days after the adoption of your IDP, it must be submitted. And you find some clever junkies trying to reason with the legislation, no, weekend days. If the legislation says 10 days, how do you count days? Were you dead on Saturday, on Sunday? You were alive, so it means those are days. Because you were alive. So 10 days means 10 days. Don't come up with 10 working days because the legislation did not say anything about working days. Because you are going to be audited against that, and we are going to put it down for the MEC and your mayor to say your IDP was adopted outside, so the credibility thereof is questionable and it can be challenged. Because there was, so 10 days means 10 days. If you go to Municipal Finance Management Act, at least it will tell you 10 working days. It will give you the working days, seven working days. No, not MSA, we don't do that. So if you were alive on Saturday or a holiday, it's counted. If your day number 10 is on Sunday, it means you even have less days. You must submit it on Friday. Because the 10th day, you won't find anybody when you come to submit. The MEC will be sleeping somewhere. I'm talking to Now the budget issues, you have referred to them 90 days before the draft IDP. 90 days is 31 March. So we've calculated all these days to make sure that colleagues understand this, they know this, they have this. So you don't come and say, hey, I did not know. By the 31st of March, the draft should have been presented. By the 31st of May, the draft should have been approved, or you should have tried. That's what the legislation says, the Municipal Finance Management Act. It says at least you should have tried. Council should have sat and considered the budget. Maybe Nishulene again over GNU, you see, but you should have said. And it will therefore tell you that if you fail to adopt it, go back, Pela, within 7 days and try to sit. But you can't say, no. By the 31st of May, you should have tried. And you are given again, leeway to say, if you failed to find each other, you still have. So all those things, there are things that, we look at. These are the process issues. I haven't touched on the content. And let's blame him for giving me 20 minutes to do this presentation. So these are the process to be followed, colleagues. I'm going to skip through this. But what is critical is participation. Your IDP cannot be credible if it did not go to the community. And what I like about the legislation, it says it must go to the community. The subsection, I think I've passed it somewhere there. It says there must be evidence of the input of the community. So those are two evidence. The evidence that you did go to the community and the evidence that there is participation, input. So those are we should say an attendance register, but it's not enough. What is it that the community said? And therefore, what is it that you are saying as municipalities? Let me quickly consult your local municipalities. I'm not going to talk to these issues. This is the issues around the budget review, which is what confuses colleagues. They wait for this time to change the agreements with the communities. Colleagues wait for this time. They wait for the 25th of January for them to change everything, because budget adjustment, colleagues, when you adjust things, you are just saying, hey, I don't have money. I'm not going to be achieved 1, 2, 3, 4. You tell your children, if we are still, you're not going to get that, cheese. You're accepting, I'm not going to be, but you don't rub what they know, what you are going to do. I'm just saying I don't have money. If you don't have money, this target is going to be red for those performance guys. You're not going to change the agreement itself. The agreement stays. You just accept that I'm not going to. You don't have money, you are adjusting your budget, or you are looking at another department that is not spending. This person is not spending, this money will be, is going to be, what do you call it? A rollover if it's your grant, or a saving. We don't want saving. I'm going to take money from you, I'm going to give it to this. Local economic development, we gave you this amount of money, you are not spending, we're taking it to service, to basic service or technical services for this project to continue. So you are moving your money around, but it does not mean that the manager LED is scot-free because the money was taken away from him. He must go and account to council that I failed to implement. He does not change the target. So I'm not going to talk to this slide, but these were the contents. I don't want to bore colleagues with this. COGTA and municipalities, together with sector department, we have developed the IDP assessment criteria. It's a long IDP assessment criteria. For the 7, we've got 7 key performance areas in KZN. I know other provinces have got 5. So we've added cross-cutting. I think other provinces also have taken cross-cutting. Now, the new one that is now dedicated to look at the implementation now of the IDP is the strategic trust. We've started it this year. So when we say your IDP is, 1 minute 38. When you say your IDP is credible, tell us the achievement, the target that you have met and the target that you have failed to meet, you failed to meet, and what is it that you are going to be doing? We are looking at all those things. Now the MEC is saying he wants to see us looking at project per project. Unfortunately for eThekwini, it's a nightmare because we can't look at everything else. But if you are Doni or you are Voti, we are going to look at all those projects. City, this is the agreement. Did you implement? So the implementation plan, this is what we are going to be looking at main in terms of AMA reviews moving forward to look at credibility, because we have realized that we have mastered the process issues, we have mastered the compliance issues. I'm not talking to this. Annual assessments, I've talked to these issues. Changing circumstances, we've got priorities. Yes, we do have 10-point plan that the MEC from time to time will tell you. We've got 10-point plans. Colleagues, don't be scared about this new 10-point plan. It is still the very same priorities. Unemployment is still unemployment. Poverty is still poverty. Dilapidated infrastructure is not going to change. Even if national government comes with a new policy, thank you, colleagues. I think my time is over.
You can have a seat. You can have a seat.